you very much for this opportunity that you have created to discuss this very pertinent issue. Let's start with this very important aspect of the whole discourse. That I think the biggest problem in this country, or one of the major challenges, that after having passed almost 8 decades, it's almost 80 years, that the establishment or the power elite or the power nexus in the state has not realized that Pakistan is not a homogenic and unitary kind of state. Pakistan, by virtue of its very social and political nomenclature and the social contract, the constitution, it happens to be a federation. So, and simultaneously, Pakistan happens to be a republic. And let me elaborate some both the concepts. That when we say that a state or a polity is a republic, it means republic means as kind of social contract between the citizen and the state. So the republic happens to be a kind of polity and a state where citizens have the final authority and or final say on all pertinent matters of the state. And when it comes to the federalism or the inclusive democratic federation, the prerequisite for any federation is that it happens to be a social contract among the provinces and among the governments. So, in vertical sense, it's a social contract between the central federal polity and the provinces altogether. And secondly, horizontally speaking, it is a social contract among the constituent units of that federation, means the states or the provinces. But in Pakistan, the problem is that establishment thinks and believes or makes us feel that it's kind of a homogenic unitary state where Islamabad or Rawalpindi has to make all the decisions. So I think it's not only the matter of the provinces, but it all the basic and pertinent aspects of the democracy, republic, and federation. I think it is the discretion of the parliament when it comes to the republic, and it is the discretion of the constituent units, means the provinces, the states, that they can decide the fate of the federation or future of federation. Now, keeping aside all the rest of the issues, now coming to the point in this discussion, which is the issue of the provinces. In all the federations, I've been teaching this subject since long time, and not only to the students, but to the parliamentarians, but to the civil bureaucracy of Pakistan, but to the media of Pakistan and academia of Pakistan. That in all the democratic, inclusive federations of the world, when it comes to the creation of new provinces or breaking the existing provinces, or making all kinds of alterations, fundamental structural alterations in the structure of the state, it remains a very rigid domain in the constitution, because constitutions cannot be that much flexible to give authority and allow everyone to create provinces according to their wishes. Now, coming to the Pakistani constitution, it means we are discussing now 1973 constitution. Although I have many reservations about this constitution in terms of incorporating religiosity in the constitution and structural imbalances and institutional imbalances. But unfortunately, after 18th Amendment, when Pakistan took a right step towards right direction, and I think it was a good journey, but the power nexus in Pakistan literally denied the implementation of 18th Amendment in Pakistan. Now, currently, coming to the point, the current constitution says, on one hand, in Pakistan's today's constitution, it has no provision of creating new provinces. None of the clauses in the constitution of Pakistan, from Article 1 to Article 280, there is no single article in the existing Pakistan's constitution where there is a provision to create new provinces. But yes, there is one clause, that is Article 239, subclause 4. It says that the boundaries of the provinces can be altered uh, in a case where the two-third majority of the respective province, in the provincial assembly, they pass a resolution, and then the recommendation goes to the federal parliament and finally to the president. So in Pakistan, when the issue of the creating new provinces is always brought to the discourse, the people of Sindh says that Sindh Assembly, which was the first ever assembly in colonial India, that passed a resolution in the favor of Pakistan, that they wanted to join Pakistan. And even at that time, although Sindh had always been a sovereign homeland in political sense, but even in colonial period, on the basis of 1935 Act, Sindh was made a province, and in 1943, it was Sindh Assembly that passed a resolution. So my first point is that the political social contract of Sindh with the Federation of Pakistan is conditional, is directly proportional, that if Sindh remains a constituent unit, a unified, kind of a province, then the conflict goes ahead. And in today's constitution, even under article I referred 239 subclause 4, Sindh Assembly had never passed such resolution, and I would say it can never pass a resolution that speaks about the creation of provinces in the Sindh province. So this is the historical background, that the issue of creating provinces in Pakistan is a very sensitive issue. Yes, Punjab had passed resolution. We respect the resolution because it is their discretion. And if anyone other province would pass a resolution, we would respect that, decision. But as far as Sindh is concerned, the provincial assembly of Sindh province had never passed a resolution, and I would say, and I can claim that it would never ever pass a resolution. So creating a province or provinces in the existing Sindh province, I think this is out of question. Yeah. First of all, I think that question can be asked from Pakistan People's Party, but as an independent analyst, I would say that history of today's Punjab is quite different from the political history of Sindh, because you know that it was Ranjit Singh back in 1818 which amalgamated all the today's existing areas of or the local areas of southern Punjab, Saraiki Wasep. He amalgamated those areas with the Punjab, first ever in the history of Punjab. And later on, in 1849, when the Britishers, took over in Punjab, because you know that in 1843 Britishers took over Sindh, and in 1849 they conquered Punjab. So it was the British colonial government that again continued with that scheme of Ranjit Singh, and the area historically independent areas of southern Punjab or Saraiki Wasep were made part of Punjab, or they were amalgamated with the geographical boundaries of Punjab. So this is the historical background. Now, when the people of southern Punjab or Saraiki Wasep, they claim or they demand that since they had never been part of Punjab before 1818, and those respective areas were amalgamated and made part of Punjab, firstly by Ranjit Singh in 1818, and later on in 1849 by the British colonial government. Now, if they claim that they are historically independent, or their separate areas should be made a single and separate province, now this is, I would say, this is again the discretion of the Provincial Assembly of Punjab, because the resolution has to be passed from that assembly. So Sindh has nothing to do with that resolution or with the demand. So it is the intra-provincial issue of the people of Punjab, that they can better settle this issue peacefully through their constitutional mechanisms like provincial assembly. But if Pakistan People's Party, which is not a Sindh-centric party, which is a federal party, and if Pakistan People's Party, supports the local demand of the people of southern Punjab to have a separate province in their, historically, independent areas which are part of Punjab now, I think that question can be asked from the Pakistan People's Party. But Sindh cannot pay the cost of politics of Pakistan People's Party or the demand of the people of southern Punjab or Saraiki Wasif. So my point is that this is an intra-provincial issue that can be settled through their respective provincial assemblies. But whenever the a demand comes out from any part of Pakistan, a particular mindset and particular interest group, they stand up and they start shouting that Sindh should also be separated or divided. So our position is that Sindh had always been a unified politically homeland, and even in British colonial period, it was a province, and Sindh joined Pakistan as a province, and Sindh would always continue in the federation as a unified province until unless federation exists. When it comes to the governance and deliverance of the system, or inclusive democracy, or accommodating diversity in governance and administrative structure, I think that's a very valid point. I also support this argument that in today's Pakistan, governance is extremely bad, including Sindh, and local diversity has to be accommodated in an inclusive way, not through verbosity, but through their active political participation in the structures of the state and political system. I do agree with that. So I think creating provinces is not the only solution. There can be alternative solutions, and there are alternative solutions. Let me elaborate this point a bit more. In Pakistan, we have almost 145, 146 districts. Why not to create more districts? Why not to create more tehsils? Why not to create more union councils? And why not to strengthen local government system? In Constitution after 18th Amendment under Article 140A, now the Constitution makes provinces bound. It's compulsory. It's obligatory that every single province has to pass a provincial act for the local government system, and every single province is bound to lay the foundation or run the whole business of the governance through local governments when it comes to the deliverance of the services. So I think instead of creating more provinces and opening up the Pandora box of the unending conflicts, I think the more peaceful, inclusive, alternative model can be to create more districts, more tehsils, more union councils, and empowering local government system, so that we can also not only improve the governance and deliverance of the system, but also to accommodate the local diversity of all kinds. I think that can be a very peaceful and inclusive kind of alternative solution. Let me clarify one thing, that normally it is believed that it is just only the political position or narrative of the nationalist. For example, I am not a typical narrow-minded nationalist. I'm a progressive, person, and I happen to be a Marxist. So it is not only the narrative or the position of particular sect of the section of the society that is called a nationalist. It is a unanimous position of Sindhis, and I believe that it is not only Sindhi speaking people, but all the communities which are permanently settled in Sindh. So I believe that when we profess upon the geographical integrity of the province, it is not only an emotional issue. It is not only historicity, but it has a great deal with the existing economic challenges, political challenges, and so my position is, I would say that Sindh is a historical homeland. Sindh joined Pakistan as a historical entity. Sindh would continue with the Federation of Pakistan only in the case when the geographical integrity of the province continues. And it is not merely an issue of identity or a superficial issue that speaks out only about the surface issues. I think it is. But let me give you an example. Currently, in Pakistan's constitutional mechanisms, there is Council of Common Interest, and provinces has a great role in Council of Common Interest. Currently, we have Senate of Pakistan, and Senate of Pakistan is a territorial chamber of the federation. That's why it is called as upper house, and all the provinces have equal representation in the Senate. Okay, we have provinces and we have provincial assemblies, and provincial assemblies have the discretionary powers on all major pertinent issues. Now, on one hand, when we are striving and struggling for the saving river Indus, we are struggling against the corporate farming. We are rejecting this state project of mining in Sindh and across the country. When we are opposing this agenda that water should be privatized, and we are opposing that the indigenous communities should not be be disconnected from all the basic decisions about environment, land, water, natural resources. My point is that integrity of the province is directly proportional with saving the Indus, with saving the land, with saving the water, opposing the canals, opposing the mining. It is not only an emotional issue. Now, in today's Pakistan, when the society is so fragile that we cannot even celebrate Eid together on the occasions, can you imagine Pakistan if we have, for example, hypothetically speaking, if we have 16 provinces, if we have 18 provinces, if we have 30 provinces? Can this fragile society, makes any decision on the basis of majority vote or consensus in CCI, in Senate, in the provincial? So I think provincial assemblies, Council of Common Interest, and the Senate, these are the constitutional houses which happen to protect the historical, economic, political rights of the indigenous people. So it is, that's why people of Sindh are opposing. It's not only a matter of historicity. That's a fact. But even when it comes to saving the river Indus, speaking about the historical rights, saving the lands, the environment, Karunjar, Sindh would never be able to save its Indus and land and its natural resources if there would be many provinces in the province, because Pakistani society and the scheme behind this whole provincial issue. So I think when the provinces, especially the Sindh province, when we strongly profess upon the geographical and integrity of the province, it means it is not just a historical issue. Along with that, it's an economic issue, it's an environmental issue, it's a political issue, it's a social issue, it's a cultural issue. So it has many dimension aspects. So I strongly believe that why they want to create provinces, the one dynamic or reasons behind that scheme is to separate, the united power of the indigenous people from the decision making. If we have many provincial assemblies, if we have many provinces in Sindh province, do you think that we would be able to save Indus? We would be able to save, our lands and, our natural resources? So it is all about not to honor the historicity, but to save what is today is in our hands, the lands and, environment and the natural resources, cultural rights, political integrity. So this is a very, integrated dynamic and issue of today's society. When I look at these power nexus corridors, I think they are not only ill-intentioned people, but they are also idiots. They have zero realization that how sensitive these issues are on ground. I don't think that the I cannot say or claim of other provinces, but I can confidently say about my province that in Sindh, people would opt every possible option to save their motherland. I repeat it, people of Sindh would opt every possible, way out to save their geographical integrity, to save their political final say on all decision making, matters, and to save Indus and your lands. And you, you rightly said that, for example, if Karachi is made a separate province, in centuries, we have established just one cosmopolitan big city, that is Karachi. And it is not Karachi that earns alone. It is the economic blood of the entire Sindh that feeds Karachi. So that's why I say it's not merely an emotional issue. It's an economic issue, political issue, cultural issue, historical issue, and social. So in case if the decision is made, and if the short-sighted, power-hunger people go for this hypothetical plan, I'm saying this on record. This would ultimately disintegrate Pakistan. This would cause a fatal damage to the integrity of the Federation of Pakistan. And they are not the friends of Pakistan's Federation because they are short-sighted. They don't realize that what are the inherent historical sensitivities and existing economic and political sensitivities. And I must say, and confidently I can say, that people of Sindh are capable enough to reject any such plan and to save their motherland by all means.